Hello everyone, it is Karina with Karina Loves to Plan. Thank you for joining me in my little corner of the internet where I talk all things planners, fountain pens, and fountain pen inks. And yes, you read it right here. I have a new pen collab that I wanted to show you. This pen collab has been in the works for actually quite some time, and it is finally coming out this Friday, March 20th. So I'm very excited to show you here. And before I get into that, I just want to talk a little bit about who this pen collab is with. I have paired up with Stephen of Just Turnings as well as Tim of Turnt Pen Co. to create this beautiful collaboration. And before I get into it and show you the pen, even though you're all like, come on, just show me the freaking pen. Basically, what I had in mind was just a mix of colors to represent a transition of seasons, but also the beautiful florals of the orchid. And I didn't want your typical light pastel colors of the orchid. I wanted really the dark, moody colors of the orchid. So now that I've talked to you a little bit about that, let's go ahead and show you the pen. Here we go. Brought to you by Just Turnings, myself and Tim of Turnt Pen Co. We have the Moody Orchid. It's got the mix of those dark greens with the purples and a little bit of gray and white. And the reason why I wanted to call this the Moody Orchid was just because of when I looked at colors in this palette, the orchid actually does have colors like this, but it's not your typical happy orchid. It really is a moody orchid. But also, one of the things that I really liked about working with Stephen, the fact that he's based in Australia, we're in the transition of seasons right now, and here in North America we're going through our transition to spring, whereas in Australia they're going through to their transition of fall. And I thought this was a great way to represent the transition that is happening right now. And what I really wanted to say when it comes to the Moody Orchid is that this collaboration, one of us in Australia, one of us in Canada, it captures the side of the orchid that doesn't always get seen. These deep purples and then these shadowy green teals and a little bit of gray, but then there's also the mix of these complex tones. They reveal themselves differently depending on the light. And this is the orchid that it's at its most interesting. So it's showy peak, and then it's just so much more beautiful because of it. So for those who are fountain pen enthusiasts, if you've been looking for, something to match with the 17 purple inks and you still felt something was missing, maybe this is it. So this has been actually in collaboration or in the works for quite some time. And I'm so grateful for Tim of Turnt Pen Co, but also Stephen for putting my vision into reality here. So I'll talk to you a little bit about the model of this pen, which is, I believe it's the Enceladus model, and what comes with it when you purchase it. So let's do a few pen comparisons first so you can see the size of this pen, and then I'll talk to you about the specifics. Before I show you other pens to compare in terms of sizing, I want to show you all of the Just Turnings pens that I currently own. I have one here. This is the Carolina Pen Company Pastel Primary Manipulation. And then I also have this one here, which was a custom pour from Tim of Turnt Pen Co. This is the Swirly Joyful Kismet. So you can see how much I do love my pens from Just Turnings. So well made. I love the simple clips, but also one of the things I love about these pens, especially these ones with the clip, is the exchangeable finials. So really you can customize it to the way that you want your pen to look. When I originally got this pen, I had different color finials, but then the more that I use this pen, I actually really love that the whole thing is this really joyful Kismet. And then with the pen as well, you get your option of your Jowo nib and your standard converter as well. Beautifully made pen, fits really well in the hand. And what I love about these ones as well is that you can also interchange the finials. And I'm just confirming here with what Stephen has told me. They, let me just see here. So for the price of this pen, you also get, so for the price of this pen, you also get the finials that you can exchange. You've got the metal detailing here. You've also got the metal detailing with the clip, and then you can also change the finials here. So for the price of this pen, it includes a second set of finials that you can swap in. So you can either choose the teal green here or the purple to swap in, or you can always keep it just like so. So let's compare the size of this pen to other pens in my collection. So let's go ahead and compare this to one of my most comfortable pens for me, my Esterbrook SD. And then we'll also compare it to the Leonardo Memento Magico, and we'll also compare it to a Wancher, which is also a Pro Gear size. And then I'm taking something out of my drawer here, and we can compare it to the TWSBI Eco. So you can see in size, actually, it's pretty comparable in size to the Esterbrook SD and the Memento Magico, and also actually pretty good size or comparison in length to the TWSBI Eco. But let's look at these uncapped. So there are all of the pens uncapped, and you can see that this model here is pretty much the same length as the Memento Magico, but then the TWSBI Eco is going to be slightly longer as well. Now, in terms of grip section, the two most comfortable for me are the Magico and the Esterbrook SD, but I'll compare in terms of sizing and bring this closer as well, those two there. It looks like the Just Turning's pen is slightly wider in the grip section than the SD, but then comparing it to the Memento Magico, these ones actually do look more similar as well. So I'm actually going to get my calipers here so you can see, for me, why this grip section is so comfortable. So when we go ahead and put my calipers around that portion of the grip section, it's about 11.25 millimeters. And then when we compare it to the Memento Magico, basically where I hold that, the Memento Magico is actually still bigger by quite a bit here. And then the Esterbrook SD, which for me is normally one of my most comfortable, is at about 11.45. So very similar in width to the Esterbrook SD, which is why it's very comfortable for me. So then let's go ahead and do a quick writing sample with this pen, and I'll give you more details about the release of this collaboration. So I'm here in my Hobonichi A5 notebook with 52 GSM Tomoe River paper, and I have this pen profile stamp here from Everyday Explorers Co. It's from the new Pen Day collection, and I'll include a link to it in the description below. I'm going to just do a quick dip test with Pilot Iroshizuku Shin Ryoku. The nib that I have on here is an extra fine because, of course, it's me. Would I have anything else? And the nibs that come with this particular pen are your Jowo number 6 size nibs. So let's do a dip test, and I think that's actually a really great match for the pen. So then let's go ahead and the brand is Just Turning. So this feels so good on the hand. The model Lattice. The nib is an extra fine, and the color is Moody Orchid. And the ink is Pilot Iroshizuku Shin Ryoku. One of the things I forgot to mention is that if you are a poster, you can post it, but it definitely makes it a very long pen that it doesn't even fit in my screen width here. But also, if you're posting it, maybe goes down to about that. So not a very deep poster, although it does post securely, but definitely makes for quite the long pen. I myself don't post the cap onto the pen, and I actually find it really, really comfortable. Nothing to bother or affect the pearly Q in my hand there, but also with the way that the grip section is created, very smooth threads. There's a tiny step up to the body and a little bit of a decrease or a little bit of a curve towards the nib, but otherwise just a very, very comfortable grip overall. I am so happy to finally share this collab with you. Stephen and Tim have done a wonderful job of bringing my vision to a pen. Now this pen model feels very comfortable in the hand, and the Jowo extra fine nib writes well. I'm just so happy with this collaboration. There is my latest collaboration with Just Turnings and Tim of Turnt Pen Co. And I want to give you the details of how you can purchase this collaboration. So we have actually 15 pens available for purchase, and each pen is 299 Australian dollars, which amounts to around 195 US dollars. And these can be purchased with a second set of finials that you can swap in. So when I say finials, basically anything that you can swap into here, and you can choose whether you want to have the teal or the purple, or just have it just one color like that. And I will tell you that every pen is going to look slightly different because that's just the nature of the resins like this. But I just love how the green has a little bit of shimmer in there, and it's just stunning. And then there's just depths to that pinky purple in there. Really lovely, and I love the way that it looks milky in other parts of this as well. And then all of the pens also have an engraving, so you'll be able to get either one of the numbers from 1 to 15 on this pen, and then the engraving actually has a little something that says JT and Karina number 1 of 15, or number, actually, do we have 18 or 15? I believe it's 18, but I wanted to show you some pictures of one of the models and the different finials that could possibly come with this pen. And Stephen has done such a great job creating all of these. So these are all ready to ship as of this Wednesday, March 20th. So once again, these are going to be sold on Friday, March 20th. So we're going to start or release these on Just Turning's website on Friday, March 20th, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. And like I said, they will go for 299 Australian dollars, and you get a second set of finials as well. But I'm so happy with this collaboration, and I hope you are too. It's just such a great way to be able to connect with other makers in the fountain pen community, and I've just been so glad to have been given this opportunity to work with Stephen. It's just amazing that our hobby as well as social media allow us to connect with other like-minded people, but also be able to share our creativity with you. So I'm so happy with that. All right, but that is everything. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have any questions about this, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to include a link in the description to Just Turning's website. And make sure you set your alarm for Friday, March 20th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't forget to hit that like button and to subscribe. And thanks again so much for watching, and have yourselves a great day.